What's going on, YouTube? I'm making this video today about my Evolve GTR Carbon, which I purchased 2 months ago to the day. It's a beautiful looking board. Aesthetically, it's probably the best looking board on the market, I would say. It's hard to argue that. But like I said, I've had it for 8 weeks and I've already had 2 issues with the board, and I gotta admit, I'm starting to get really frustrated. Alright, so I sent it for repair a couple weeks ago because apparently the motor control went bad. My buddy was riding it. He didn't do anything to it. He was just riding it, and all of a sudden it just stopped working. This power button was flashing. Instead of staying solid, it would flash, flicker, and the motors wouldn't turn on, wouldn't spin, nothing would work. So I was bummed, of course. I just got the board and it's already not working. And I was kind of mad at my buddy because I was like, what did you do to my board? And, you know, he swears he didn't do anything. So there was no damage to the board itself, so I believe him. So I sent it back to Evolve. They were kind enough to answer my emails very fast. No luck getting them on the phone. They're saying COVID issues. I don't know why you can't pick up a phone. I didn't know you could spread a virus through a phone call, but whatever. Evolve, I really think you guys need us to start answering your phones because it's getting customers like myself very frustrated. Anyway, back to my problems here with my board. I went to New York City for the weekend, had a great weekend, no issues whatsoever with the board. I went with my buddy. He brought his budget board, which was a third of the cost of mine, so it was $750. He bought his board about 2 weeks after I got mine, so we pretty much had them both at the same time frame. He hasn't had one issue with his board, and I gotta say that's pretty embarrassing. You know, because my board has broken down twice now, and for the price point that this board's selling at, the reason you pay the extra money is say you don't have problems like this. That's my train of thought. That's what I thought. You know, like if I pay the extra money, I'm not going to have any problems with the board, right? Wrong. My buddy bought his board, like I said, for $750. Hasn't had one issue, and now I'm on my second issue. So I got back from New York City, and on that Monday, I got off of work, and I felt like I live in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I felt like just putting it around town. I weigh 150 pounds, you know, soaking wet. So I'm not straining the board. I always ride it on Pro. I don't even put it in GTR mode. And I never pin it because I don't want to get hurt. I just take my time. I'm not a crazy like 16-year-old kid anymore. So I don't want to get hurt. Well, I was just putting it, and all of a sudden it made this weird noise. And I thought I was imagining things, but as I kept riding, the noise started getting worse and worse. So I stopped and I touched the motor. The motor was hot as hell. This one was hot, but this one was extremely hot. So it was already an indication that the motor was overworking itself. So then I lifted the board up to do a test run, to have the wheel spin to see how they were acting. And this is what I found. Give me a moment to power up here on my board. Check this out. I'll put on Pro mode real quick. You guys see that? This tire, this wheel just stops. This wheel slows down the way it's supposed to. Now, at first, I've never did a test. I never lifted it up to see how they ran, to see if they both stopped at the same time. But when I checked my buddy's board, both his wheels stopped at the same time. So I used my common sense and said, you know what, that's the way it's supposed to be. So obviously that's an issue there. Correct? Wrong. If I keep running this for a few minutes, this motor's going to get really hot. You can also hear a difference in the sound. This motor's very loud for some reason. This one's quieter. Still makes noise, but not as much as this one. So now here we are. After arguing with Evolve a little bit, because they started recommending me, first they told me that I had to recalibrate my controller. I don't know what that has to do with what's going on there, but I did it. Nothing happened. And then they sent me an email saying that I should take the tires from the top and put them on the bottom. I don't know how that would help either. So So after a little bit of arguing, like I said, they won't pick up their phone because I'd rather just communicate verbally with somebody instead of writing emails. I'm a busy guy. I have 2 jobs. I don't have time to go back and forth like this. I'd rather just talk to a human being. They finally sent a return label to my girlfriend. So she printed it out for me, and I guess Monday morning we're going to go send it out again, FedEx Ground. So that's going to be 10 days before I didn't have my board for 10 days because it was getting repaired. Now it's going to be another 10 days. We're talking 20 days now of not having a board. So literally Evolve has had my board as long as I've had my board. You know what I mean? It's getting really old, man. And if I get it back this time and it doesn't work again, something happens within a week or so, it's going to really piss me off. Especially since I paid so much money for it, and I'm watching my buddy ride his board that he paid $750 for, and he's having absolutely 0 issues with. So let me know, you guys, if anybody else is having these types of issues, or if this is going to be something that's going to be an occurring issue that's not going to go away, that they're just going to Band-Aid and then get it back and it's going to break again. Let me know if I'm in for a ride here. Because if that's the case, Evolve, I think you guys need to step up and just give me my money back. All right, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, and leave some comments, some pointers. I would appreciate it. Thank you.